So the real question, of course, and this is where the heart of the book really comes in, is how do we do that? How do we intentionally redirect cultures? And the answer is by using 6 key institutions to change cultures. These are societal institutions, both a product of culture, but a primary way to shape cultures, namely education, business, the media, governments, social movements, and traditions. And of course, depending on the specific culture you're in, some will have a more dominant role than others. In our culture, which is very media-centric, and the average person watches 4 hours of TV a day, the media is a powerful tool. In perhaps a tribal culture where there is no media exposure, well, traditions are going to be a much more powerful tool. But either way, the key is to use these institutions strategically to redirect us away from consumerism. And I won't go into too many examples of this because the panelists, that's why they're invited. That's why they used some carbon to get here and share their insights into these ideas. But I do want to talk about a few of the exciting efforts that won't get attention today. In education, as Susan Lin is here, and she'll be talking about commercialism, and David Orr will be talking about the university's role, but pretty much every aspect of education is being shifted. A lot of times in small ways, in small schools. This is not a grand movement where all of education has shifted yet, but the roots have been started to be laying down, where pretty much every piece of educational systems are being changed. Students or teachers are creating green curricula in the classroom. School meals are being shifted away from processed foods and unhealthy foods to more locally produced, vegetable-based foods that actually are healthy and can help set good dietary norms for children. And children, of course, are, the earlier you set their diet, that is what becomes normal. Just as few of us probably wanted to eat bugs today, if we had been eating them since children, it wouldn't have been even a question. And then there would have been no joke there. So I would have had to find something different to do. But everything, the school meals, the creation of gardens. I added a picture here of Michelle Obama working with children in the White House garden. And this is a great example of a cultural pioneer or a celebrity, in this case, that has really driven forward the school gardening movement. And that is a real powerful leap that this is helping to drive. But even as these other 2 pictures note, the walk to school, the commute to school is being transformed. In one example in the book talks about Lecco, Italy, which has been a leader in creating these pieta buses, these walking buses of students and chaperones that bring the students to school. And since 2003, 450 students from 10 schools in this small town in Italy have reduced driving by 100,000 miles. Right, so there's obviously the ecological benefit, but even more, it's transforming how they understand the world. No longer do they need to get from one place to another by a car, but they're walking, they're interacting as a community, and they're experiencing nature, the shift of seasons, for example. So it's a small thing, but imagine that in a larger educational puzzle where you have the meals reinforcing this, the gardening, which is part of the curriculum, enforcing it, the classroom ideas that are being shared. All of this can really have a major driver of shifting education so that sustainability becomes natural. One other field is that of business. As Chris mentioned, a lot of different businesses are being changed. From within, we have a great article by Ray Anderson and others that are where Interface is shifting its corporate culture. But there's also social enterprises that are questioning the very role of business, the very reason for their existence, from maximizing profit to maximizing social good. So these businesses are being created. Profitable, yes, but profit in order to drive forward social change. So this is an example, just one example, a restaurant in Thailand called Cabbages and Condoms, and cabbages in that culture is a good food. It's not a, it's something that's enjoyed, not like our culture probably, where cabbage. I wouldn't go to a restaurant that prominently displayed that cabbage is the first on the menu. But Cabbages and Condoms is a great restaurant where they use the restaurant to promote safe sexual practices. Keep in mind, Thailand was one of the worst affected by AIDS, so this came out of that. But then they take the profit from this clever restaurant and put it into community development programs that help with providing family planning, safe sex, and rural development. So it's a real great model that really is replicating across industries. And in fact, there's now even a legal framework that's being created to help social enterprises. This B Corporation is one of those examples that creates the legal foundation to help make sure that corporations are empowered to focus on social goods first. And just this example alone, it's 190 companies so far and $1 billion in revenue, but it's only a few years old, so this could really escalate. I won't talk too much longer. There's so many great examples, as you'll hear from the panelists. Chris Jordan's great artwork that's challenging people to think about consumerism. Susan Finkelpearl and Free Range Studios, that is using marketing to what they call social market and encourage good behaviors. One other I'll quickly mention is cinema, of course. There's been more and more great and powerful documentaries that open people's minds. One lunchmate mentioned that his children saw Super Size Me, and after that didn't go to McDonald's again. So it really has a clear, powerful impact. And then when you talk about not just documentaries, but cinema, film, that can really create a whole new mythology, like WALL-E and Avatar have done. Avatar, if you haven't seen it yet, is already about to be the #1 movie, a bestseller ever. And it's based on an epic story about a race of people that are directly, they understand their connection directly to the Earth systems that support them, or the planetary systems that support them. And so, to create this awareness, this myth where these people are directly connected to the planet, that can help create a new story for us. I won't go into other examples. The panelists will. The key message, though, underlying all of these examples, big and small, is that individuals who understand the role of culture and how it's driven us towards consumerism and how it could be harnessed to drive us towards living sustainably. These individuals who know how close we are to the brink, to how close the environmental systems are about to unravel, which is reinforced by scientific document after document, they have to take a proactive and intentional role to help shape culture, to redirect what is natural. And they are. And the key from this work, I hope, is to really drive more cultural pioneers to take on these things through whatever institution they're already engaged in. So teachers can be greening their curriculum and changing the school lunches in their schools. Marketers can start doing some work on spreading social marketing. Filmmakers can be making sustainable films. Urban planners can be making a walkable city easy to do, and so on. The more people that are engaging and driving forward a culture of sustainability, that is the secret. And while each of those ideas and efforts might seem small separately, like drops of rain in the ocean, when added up, like the State of the World cover hints at, these could become a great wave of change, washing away consumerism as a cultural model and leaving a culture of sustainability in its wake.